They looked like the last people anyone would ever suspect of chasing down dangerous criminals. Soft voices, pastel backpacks, perfectly pressed school uniforms, and smiles so innocent that teachers trusted them without question. But sometimes the most ordinary faces hide the most extraordinary secrets. It all started on a quiet afternoon after school. The final bell rang, and students flooded the hallways. Among them were Maya and Hannah, best friends since childhood. Maya was the shy one, always buried in mystery novels. Hannah was more cheerful, obsessed with crime documentaries and true crime podcasts. While other girls talked about makeup and crushes, these two debated interrogation techniques and forensic science. That day, they weren't looking for trouble. Trouble found them. On their way home, they noticed a commotion near the old electronics shop. A man in a black hoodie sprinted out, clutching a stolen laptop. The shop owner stumbled behind him, shouting for help. People froze. No one moved. Maya's eyes widened. Hannah didn't hesitate. Before Maya could protest, Hannah grabbed her wrist and ran. They weren't thinking like heroes. They were thinking like fans of the detective shows they loved. The thief darted into a narrow alley, expecting to disappear. But Hannah had memorized the area from years of walking these streets. She cut through a side path, dragging Maya with her. They burst out in front of the thief. Startled, he skidded to a stop. Maya, heart pounding, did something unexpected. She dropped her books, spilling papers everywhere. The thief tripped over them. Hannah tackled him with a move she'd learned from a self-defense video. It wasn't graceful, but it worked. Within minutes, police sirens echoed. Officers took the thief into custody, stunned that 2 high school girls had stopped him. The next day, their faces were everywhere online. Headlines called them brave. Classmates stared in awe. Teachers praised them. But something else happened too. An email arrived in Hannah's inbox that evening. No sender name, just a message. Impressive work. Interested in earning more than praise. Attached was a link to a private bounty board. Real criminals, real rewards. At first they thought it was a scam. But curiosity won. The site listed verified fugitives with confirmed police warrants. Independent bounty hunters were allowed to assist in capturing non-violent offenders for reward money. Maya hesitated. This was insane. They were students. Hannah's eyes sparkled. What if we just look? Looking turned into researching. Researching turned into planning. Their first official target was a small-time con artist wanted for online fraud. Not violent, known to hide in cafes using public Wi-Fi, they tracked his digital footprint using basic clues he had left on social media. Hannah noticed the background in one of his photos matched a cafe near the train station. They went there after school, pretending to study. Maya's hands trembled as she scanned faces, then she saw him. Same glasses, same scar near the eyebrow. They did not confront him directly. Instead, they alerted local authorities while keeping him in sight. When he tried to slip away, Hannah accidentally bumped into him, spilling her drink. He slipped again. The police arrived moments later. Another arrest, another reward. Money began quietly stacking up in a hidden savings account. They bought new phones, better laptops, gear disguised as ordinary school supplies, a stun device hidden in a pencil case, a tracker concealed inside a keychain. Their innocence became their greatest weapon. Criminals underestimated them every time. Word spread in underground circles about a mysterious duo. Some called them the Pink Shadows. Others referred to them as the schoolyard hunters. No one suspected the truth. Balancing homework and hunting criminals was not easy. There were late nights of algebra mixed with surveillance, group projects interrupted by stakeouts, exams taken after sleepless nights tracking suspects online. Then came their first real test. A local gang member wanted for assault appeared on the bounty board. Higher reward, higher risk. Maya wanted to skip it. Hannah argued they could handle it if they were careful. They spent days studying his routine. He frequented an abandoned warehouse on the edge of town. The night they decided to move, fear settled heavy in their chests. This wasn't a cafe. This wasn't a clumsy con artist. They hid behind stacked crates inside the warehouse, whispering strategy. The gang member was alone, counting cash. They planned to record evidence and alert authorities. Simple, but he heard something. Footsteps echoed. Maya froze. Hannah squeezed her hand. The man approached, suspicious. For the first time, they were face to face with someone truly dangerous. Thinking fast, Maya activated the fire alarm system she'd located earlier. Loud sirens erupted. Sprinklers soaked the room. In the chaos, Hana used the stun device. It was messy and terrifying, but they managed to disorient him long enough to escape and call the police. That night, they didn't celebrate. They shook. They realized this wasn't a game. For a few weeks they stopped. School returned to normal. Tests, gossip, club meetings. They tried to convince themselves they were done. But crime did not stop. One evening they saw a missing person poster outside a convenience store. A young woman disappeared after exposing a counterfeit ring. The case had gone cold. The bounty board listed a related suspect. Large reward, no recent leads. Something inside them reignited. It wasn't about money anymore. They tracked shipments, fake business registrations, and warehouse rentals. Piece by piece, they uncovered a network using abandoned storage units. This time, they didn't rush in. They gathered solid evidence first. Photos, audio recordings, license plates. They built a case stronger than some professionals. When they finally tipped off the authorities, it led to multiple arrests and the safe rescue of the missing woman. News outlets exploded with praise for anonymous informants. The city began to feel safer. Maya and Hana sat in class the next morning, quietly passing notes about homework, while pretending they hadn't just dismantled a criminal ring. But being secret heroes came with consequences. A masked figure began watching them. Someone had noticed patterns. A rival bounty hunter, perhaps. Or worse, someone from the criminal world piecing things together. They started noticing a black car parked near school more often. Footsteps behind them at night. Fear returned, sharper than before. One evening as they walked home, the masked figure stepped into their path. Not threatening, just curious. He spoke calmly, saying he knew they were the ones capturing targets before professionals could. Instead of exposing them, he offered something else. Training. He was a former licensed bounty hunter who had stepped back after years in the field. He admired their skill but warned them they were in over their heads. After intense debate, they agreed to learn. Under his guidance, they trained in controlled environments. Self-defense, situational awareness, escape tactics. They became smarter, not just braver. With new skills came confidence. But they also learned limits. They avoided high-risk targets. They prioritized evidence gathering over confrontation. Months passed. The legend of the mysterious duo grew. Then came the biggest bounty yet. A notorious cyber criminal responsible for draining millions from small businesses. Dangerous but rarely seen in person. Tracking him required everything they had learned. Digital tracing, physical surveillance, patience. They discovered he operated from a mobile command van, constantly relocating. Catching him would mean stopping the van without risking lives. They orchestrated a plan during a crowded tech expo. Maya hacked into the event network just enough to trigger a system-wide alert about suspicious vehicle activity. Security blocked the exits. Hana discreetly attached a tracker to the van earlier that day disguised as a promotional sticker. Authorities intercepted him miles away. The arrest made national headlines. That night, sitting on their bedroom floor surrounded by textbooks and half-finished homework, they laughed in disbelief. They were still just high school girls. They still worried about exams and awkward crushes. But somewhere between spilled drinks and warehouse alarms, they had become something more. Not superheroes, not vigilantes, just two friends who refused to stand still when something felt wrong. Graduation loomed on the horizon. They knew they couldn't do this forever. College applications were waiting. Futures were calling. On their final day of school, as they walked through the gates one last time, they felt both relief and pride. They had saved people. They had faced fear. They had grown stronger together. That evening they logged into the bounty board one last time. A new notification blinked. Interested in going pro. They exchanged a look. Maybe this wasn't the end. Maybe it was only the beginning. And somewhere in the city, criminals still whispered about the innocent-looking girls who appeared out of nowhere, turning mistakes into handcuffs, and vanishing back into the crowd before anyone could guess who they really were.